How did you reach the top of entrepreneurship? Like, how are you so successful? Why are you an outlier when it comes to the other 500 million entrepreneurs out there?
My perception of it is it's similar to the iconic people in other merit-based worlds, sports, music and entertainment. Like, I think what's cool about business is like, you can't hide. You know, what I love about sports is like, you can say you're good at it, but you have to actually play one-on-one basketball. And if you lose 11-0 to your buddy that you said you're good at it, you're not good at it. Same with business. You could say, you know this, you're growing up in an era, like I grew up in an era where entrepreneurship was not cool. You're growing up in an era where it went completely the other way.
Everybody is.
And everybody says they are, but are they? You know, I'm a rapper. But am I? And so, couple things. One, I think because there's more entrepreneurs than ever, but they're not really entrepreneurs, they're aspiring entrepreneurs. They have entrepreneurial tendencies. And so it seems like there's a lot more. That's one. So to your point, out of all, like the base is bigger. When I was a kid, the word didn't even exist. When I was 13, 16, 19, I'm like, I'm gonna be a businessman. That would be the only word I would use. I didn't even know what an entrepreneur was. As a matter of fact, the first time I even remember hearing the word, it kind of seemed like the thing that like you were a loser actually. Like you said you were an entrepreneur, but like you were living on the beach and your parents, like it had a really and then it went like completely the other way. So that's one. Two, back to sports and music, like Beyonce was born with her voice and her swag and her talents. Now she put in ungodly amounts of work as a child to today. LeBron, as a child. I think where I really lucked out is I put in a work as a child in a world that almost nobody was doing what I was doing at the time. Like when I tell you I punted school, like I don't believe that people will believe me when I say this. But I know that the Adam Blums and the Garrett Van Fleets and the Pam Moseses and the Robin Martzes and the Robbie Turnicks that grew up with me know this to be true. In high school, I did not do one homework assignment in all 4 years. Not one. Not only that, somewhere around, I believe sophomore year, but it might even been second half of freshman year, I, for 4 years of high school, did not open a book once. I did not hand in one book report, and I guessed on my Scantron all 4 years, A, B, C, B, A, all four. I got zeros on tests. I was 243 out of 254 in class rank. I had a 1.6 something GPA, and I got a D in speech. I went so to the extreme. Even today, where entrepreneurship's allowed, we're like a 14-year-old entrepreneur now. We're like, yo, you got it. Like you're the next Zuckerberg, right? And we champion them. Even those kids aren't 100% entrepreneur and completely punt school. It's very rare. So I think the reason I stood out was I put in way more work than everybody and had natural talent.
Yeah.
And that's really the answer. First of all, I would say that I got very fortunate. I think it's in me. It was, if I'm analyzing at 48 years old, it was in my DNA. And then it was reinforced at scale by the person that probably gave me the DNA, my mom. So I think humility, and it's interesting. I appreciate you saying that. I think as I'm getting older, people are seeing it in the action. Because, you know, I'm an interesting communicator. And so, you know, I'm competitive and I'm Jersey and like, you know, I curse. And, you know, I think early in my career, I was very empathetic that like humble wouldn't be like what people first saw. But I'm very proud that as I'm later in my career, the actions, like for you, it's easy as somebody who watches carefully enough that it's something I'm very proud of. And there's much that goes into it. Why is it important to me? It keeps me, I think it's an incredible trait. I think it's a very attractive trait. And I also think it's a very strong competitive advantage. I think humility protects you from delusion. It protects you from getting high in your own supply. And it just protects you from a lot of things that I think are yucky for people that win. You know, like I enjoy being liked more by the people that actually know me than the ones that don't. And there are many people that we all put on a pedestal that are living the reverse life.
Yeah.
And so like it is in my essence. The reason I give back so much is I never want to get away from the kid in the dirt. Like I know where I came from. It's important to me. I'm aware that we live in a world now where I will literally say something on this podcast, for sure, because I'm confident in that. That's my confidence, that is going to have a positive impact on someone in a real way, like actually. And that is like incredibly fulfilling. It gets me high. I really almost don't, like, I'm so hardwired to understand why wouldn't I? But I'm very empathetic to why I wouldn't and why others don't. I'll give you an example. I have a friend who just like, she believes like leaving the home, like looking pristine is like the most important thing in the world. And, you know, is there a mix of insecurity there? Sure. But like in her soul, like I know her well enough, it's like, no, this is important. How you present, like, I don't know if I'm taking a minute to get ready and go out. And I get guy and girl, there's things, right? But everyone's allowed to have things that are religious to them, right?
Yeah.
That are their North Stars. For me, being a nice person and providing back to the game that put me on is everything. You know, it's everything to me. Like entrepreneurship as a framework, especially for kids that came from the dirt, is what was the game that allowed me to have my life. I must contribute to that game at all costs.
For people who don't take risks naturally, who aren't naturally creative, do you think they're cut out for entrepreneurship?
No. I mean, creative is different, but risk is the requirement.
Yeah.
Because you're naturally risking from the second you start. You are saying, I am good enough to stand on my own 2 feet. And I will either succeed in all of your faces or I will fail in front of all your faces. And the majority of human beings on earth do not have the stomach to fail in front of everyone's faces. One of the other ways I could have answered your last question is because I'm not scared to lose.
Yeah.
Why did I achieve a lot? Because I wasn't scared.
Yeah.
There's many things I was scared to do. I don't want to jump out of a plane. So I'm not a good plane jumper. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, my giving a fuck about people's judgment on my failures is zero. And it's been zero for so long that it's so ingrained in me. And if you can't deal with judgment, and if you can't deal with taking a step back, you know how humility works? When you make do you know what it feels like? You're going through a very interesting journey, and so a lot of entrepreneurs right now. One of the worst feelings in the world is to make a lot less money professionally than you used to, because you once taste the alternative. Never making $100,000 a year and living $70,000 a year and being happy is one of the great lives of all time. Getting up to $400,000 a year, but then having whatever happened, that job loss, new business side hustle lost, and going to 180, that's
tough.
Flying first class and then never being able to afford it, and now sitting middle seat coach, that fucks with people's psyches. Not me.
Yeah.
Not me. And as if, what are you gonna say to me that's gonna make me value your opinion in a world where I know you've got a lot of things not going well too?